Check out this chord from Steely Dan's Aja. This is the day of the expanding harmonic vocabulary, here on
Keith Horn's Chord of the Week.
Steely Dan's 1977 album Aja is their most commercially successful release and gave us the charting singles Deacon Blues, Peg, and Josie. But one song that didn't make it to the radio was the title track, called Aja. Maybe because it's 8 minutes long and has a 4-minute interlude and a burning drum solo at the end, which is where I want to focus your attention. Not on the solo itself, but on the chord that's vamping under the drum solo, which is a mind-blowing masterclass by Steve Gadd. So here's the chord. Let's listen to it again in context. It's a B minor 11, but the voicing is what makes it unique. And when you think of a B minor 11, if you stack it with just thirds like this, B minor, add a 7th, a 9th, and an 11th, that's how you make a B minor 11. This chord is missing the 5th, the F sharp. And it's got the 3rd up here.
Clever.
So that's what makes this voicing unique. If you remove the D, you just have a slash chord, an A over B. But adding the D is what makes it unique and brings us into B minor land and gives us 1, 7, 9, 3, 11 in the voicing, and that's how we spell it.
You not spell it!
Now this is a pianist's voicing. It's virtually impossible to play it on the guitar, even though I guess I could try it. Okay, I got it. I have to hold the guitar vertically, and to get everything in here, not even everything, I have this. Piece of cake. I think I pulled something. And keyboardist and composer Donald Fagen, seen here expressing pure joy, loves to use these kind of cluster voicings where he adds this rub of a minor second in the middle of a voicing, like these chords in the song I Got the News, also from Aja. Or this chord, which I love, which is it's a Phrygian chord from Green Book. Just nice and clustery. He loves to write those types of voicings. And I suppose what makes this chord from Aja so iconic is also its repetition. The band just hammers it over and over and over again under the solo. Just and they play it again and again so they can give the drummer some. Almost as if they were saying, we dare you to put this one on the radio. I've always admired the writing of Steely Dan because they employ such sophisticated harmony while using just enough restraint to keep it accessible to most listeners. Except my wife. She is not down with the Dan. Not a fan.
How come it has to be so complicated?
They're a huge influence on my own writing, so much so that when I released my 3rd album, Dude Loquacious,
That's a plug.
one listener said it sounded like, and I quote, if Donald Fagen grew up listening to Donald Fagen.
Oh, no, he didn't.
Which is hilarious and also kind of true. Suffice it to say, I've had to wean myself off of the Dan recently. And if you've read Naked Lunch, please don't read into that too much. So let's take the Aja chord through some exercises. First exercise is to plane it through the plagal cycle like this. And for the second exercise, I'll use voice leading and take it through the authentic cycle. But the voice leading, you could think of it this way. I like to think of it this way. An A add 4 over B. Because then I can focus my right hand on the voice leading. So if we were to just take the triads, A to D to G to C, and add 4 to each one of those, we get. Already interesting on its own. And now we'll add the left hand, take it through the authentic cycle like this.
Nice.
So that's what we could call the Aja chord from Steely Dan's album of the same name from 1977. It's just a really interesting chord, and one of the things I've always loved about Steely Dan is they used very interesting chord progressions and chord voicings and impeccable production. So it's always a great listen, and it's always a fun study. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Happy practicing.
Yeah. Who this? This beat. Yo, who this? Yo, who this? Who this?